It started out as a great idea for when I retire.
Okay, how's that?
I accidentally didn't retire.
Yeah, accidentally.
Yeah, or a failure to unlaunch or something. So you know, we were already well into it, and so we just kept going. You know?
Yeah.
And for me, it was an opportunity to finally build a house exactly the way I wanted to build it.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
because you normally do custom.
We're a custom builder,
mm-hmm.
and we've been doing that for 25 years. And so, you know, we present people decisions, and based on their priorities,
or
that's
ideas,
what we do.
or whatever.
Yeah, we could do this, we could do this, and
mm-hmm.
they're drawn to this or that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have been focused on energy efficient, non-toxic, environmentally responsible building for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we've built homes to different green standards over the years, LEED homes, and, you know, the National Association of Home Builders has a green building standard that's really very complete. We've built a few of those.
mm-hmm.
Built the first ones in the high country, really just a couple miles from here, actually, up in Fleetwood. So we've looked at all different ways of, you know, cracking that code of how to build an energy efficient home that is comfortable, that is non-toxic, provides a, you know, a really healthy place to live.
And be pretty.
And be pretty. It has to
It
be
has to
pretty.
be pretty.
And it has to be inviting. It has to be a place you want to be.
Right.
And that's actually in the standards, believe
mm-hmm.
it or not. Like
is it really?
Yes, people who understand that it doesn't matter if you've built some, you know, it's sort of like a, you know, yeah, you could build it airtight, but nobody wants to live there.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be inviting. It has to be beautiful
mm-hmm.
In order to be truly considered a sustainably green build, blah, 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 you know.
Mm-hmm.
The term green building has been, you know, emptied of meaning. So I don't
right.
use that
It's
term.
very loosely used
I don't
these
use
days.
that term anymore. But we do very specifically build a home that is going to use less energy, so it's cheaper to operate.
mm-hmm.
It's going to be more durable. It's going to require less maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Like the exterior siding on this house was specifically assembled. That wall was assembled with a rain screen behind it, so that, and it's been treated with a mineral-based preservative that's non-toxic. Then it's had wood oil applied, so it literally does not need maintenance.
Right.
It will last 50, 100 years,
amazing.
just like an old barn.
Right.
It will just cure.
And most everybody else is what, staining every 5 to 7 years probably.
Yeah, or painting or something.
Right.
You know, and oil will make that look prettier, but it's not going to make it last longer. It will last
mm-hmm.
nearly forever.
Right.
Just the way it is, because it dries on the outside, dries on the inside. It's got these preservatives on it that are non-toxic, and they make it look beautiful.
So does nobody know that that kind of product exists? Or?
I mean, everything I use, I bought it, like, I walked into Sherwin-Williams to buy that stuff.
Wow, okay.
But I have had phone calls from people who say, hey, the guys at Sherwin say you're the only guy in the high country who knows how to use this stuff.
Mm-hmm. What
do you think about it? Because I've just been focused on it for whatever reason. You know?
You just educated yourself.
Yeah, I've educated myself. So this house was an opportunity to use these little things that I've picked up through the years. I've experimented with them. Now I know how they work. Yeah. So it's really fun for me, you know.
Is this the first pier and beam foundation you've done?
Oh no, we've been doing these for years because the mountains are so steep.
Right.
You know, the mountains present some interesting challenges to builders. Mm-hmm. Like when I moved here, I moved from, you know, the Midwest, and we thought, you know, it was hard to build there. It's not hard to build there.
I'm assuming it's pretty flat there. I've never been to the Midwest.
Oh my God.
I'm from Texas, and everything's just...
Yeah.
And a lot's a lot. There's square, there's a fence line, you know exactly where you're at.
Exactly. I mean, here, every house has a unique approach to where's the driveway going to go? Where's the front door going to go? How are you going to get a foundation here? Where's the, you know...
driveways.
Driveways are always a fascinating process. Yeah. And, you know, things cost more just by the sheer remoteness of the mountains. Mm-hmm. Then the fact that you're, like, there's not room. Like, I see these guys come up from, like, builders. Like, we've built for builders. We've built for engineers, you know. Mm-hmm. And they're like, man, thank God.
Yeah, they're just totally out of
You know what we're doing here. Yeah, because they don't even have room to turn their trailers around up here.
Right.
Like, all my trailers are short. because I've learned.
Right.
You know?
Or you have like a designated parking area down the road, and then you haul stuff
we
up
think
in little
about how to
trucks.
stage the materials and how many trucks can be there at one time. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, Habitat has a 24-hour build where they, you know, like down in Charlotte, they will literally build a house for a person in 24 hours.
Really?
Yeah, the Home Builders Association would support it, and they would just bring one sub in after the other, and they'd build a house in 24 hours. In the mountains, they gave us 30 days.
Okay, so I would think you would need longer than that.
I mean, it's a rush. It's unbelievable, but you know, how do you build a house in a day?
I don't even know how you would pull that off.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it either, but
I would say from my experience, at least even with spec homes, it's an easy 12 months, easy.
Yeah.
And then with custom, 18 months easy.
Yeah,
because
that's
people
about right.
always change their mind.
We tell people 15, 18 months.
Yeah.
And of course, this one we were interrupted by Helene.
Right.
Which on one hand was, you know.
You were getting close too.
We were, the kitchen cabinets were supposed to be delivered.
Yeah.
That pushed them off 2 months. But what it also did was it proved to us that this property is in a really good spot.
Yeah.
Because as much as damage was down there, we didn't even get a branch on the tree, on the house.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a relief. And
must have pretty stable soil.
Oh yeah, so just the process of building on these lots. There's 3 lots. This lot is a little over an acre. It was examined by a geotechnical engineer, a soil scientist, and a structural engineer before we even bought it.
Okay.
To make sure it was going to be suitable to do what we wanted to do. And then, you know, like the footings are just huge blocks of concrete dug into the soil. And then these pier and beam, as you said, come up. And we learned to do this because some people's homes are just on too steep a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not too complicated. It's just like building a big deck. The trick is how do you get your water in without having it freeze?
Yeah, have
we
it all
just
insulated.
build an enclosed chase. We insulate it. We even put a little heater in it. So
okay, I didn't realize that.
Yep. Had my electrician pick out a little heater. He did it himself. And,
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's and we've actually set this house up to be resilient. Like I have special connections over in this one corner where if they want to hook up a generator at any point, it's all ready to go. Like we envisioned this as like a weekend getaway, basically, but also a place where if it hit the fan down there in the cities, you've got a safe place to go.
Yeah.
Exactly. You've got your own well. That also can be run off a generator.
Yeah.
Like this house, you know, you've got gas heat here that could be used even when there's no power.
Right.
And it's extraordinarily well insulated. We'll talk about that. So this would be a great place to weather a bad period.
Yeah, any chaos going on?
Any chaos going on.
Well, we've seen that before, haven't we?
Yes, we have. And with that nice quiet river out there, you know, it's just be a nice, there's a peacefulness.
What did you do in this house that was different? Or was there anything that you hadn't done before?
Yes, there was. Yes, there was. You know, like the normal thing that we do, it's a 2x6 frame wall. We put formaldehyde-free insulation in the normal bays. And we put drywall on the inside, and that's all normal stuff. What we did on this house that was unique, there's an approach to building that is called a vapor open wall assembly.
Okay. And
you know, the standard approach to building an energy efficient home is to make sure that you don't have air leakage. So they put on very carefully applied house wrap, and then if you want to do a slightly better thermal envelope. So the thermal envelope is the way we keep the heat in or the heat
keep the
out.
cold out or whatever.
Whichever, depending upon
whatever your preference is.
And that's a thermal break, essentially. So you wrap the whole house in insulation. Now the typical approach to that is foam board. And it makes a tremendous difference. You know, that house will perform so well in terms of staying warm or cool depending upon the season. The problem is with that you're a little bit like living in a styrofoam beer cooler.
Okay.
It's, it doesn't breathe. You literally have to pipe the air in and pipe the exhaust out
So is
in
that
order
what
to have
causes
fresher
more
ventilation.
moisture in the house or anything like that? Or does that have nothing to do with it?
It's related. The number one problem with that is that you don't have, unless you take care to mechanically ventilate, you don't have good fresh air. But most good builders will do that. They'll create balanced ventilation. And this house has that same thing. It has continuous 24 hours a day balanced ventilation with heat recovery, so you're not losing the heating or the cooling. But the reason they do that is so that, and there's also a vapor barrier required by code. So that is a dangerous situation, because if the inside of your insulation has a vapor barrier and the outside of your house has a foam continuous layer of insulation, moisture can get trapped in there.
Okay.
And that can produce bad stuff.
Right.
So
rotting in the framing or whatever.
Or mold growing in the insulation.
So cause allergies and all kinds of stuff.
And that is a code built house. That is a house built to code. That will pass code.
Which is probably most homes up here.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the good ones, because they're energy efficient. You know, I mean, seriously. Well, you know, I've been looking at this issue for a long time, and I looked into kind of natural building processes and tried to think how can we do that in a code approved modern home, and just using stuff we bought off the shelf. And it turns out if you just keep looking, there's a way. All we did was use standard exterior grade plywood.
Okay.
And then I did buy one kind of, the secret sauce in a way was a house wrap material that is self-adhered. It's like a 5-foot wide roll. It's called Adhero, and it comes from Italy. But you can buy the same stuff at the local lumberyard. Just, you know, it's not made in the United States. Now that I've done a little more research, I could have just bought stuff right from New River Building Supply.
Okay.
And it goes on like a wide roll of tape. It gives you a super airtight house, but it allows vapor to pass through at a very measured rate. It's about between 10 and 15 perms, which is a rating for permeability. So, and plywood, as it turns out, runs about 10 perms. So the plywood allows moisture to get through.
That's really interesting.
Vapor barrier, this house wrap was designed to do exactly what it does. They call it it's sort of a managed vapor level. It's not you know, like leaving a window open. It's a very managed level. And then on the outside, we put, for our continuous insulation, instead of foam board, we used mineral wool insulation.
Okay.
And it's designed specifically for this purpose because it doesn't absorb water, but it allows water vapor to pass through. They make a specific density so that we can then attach wood nailers going across, and then that gives us something to attach our siding to. We selected a siding that has a gap every 8 inches, that nickel gap siding, so that continues to, any moisture that gets in comes right back out.
And I like the look of the nickel gap. I always
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's lovely. And with that oil
It's just
on
kind
it,
of
brought out
classic,
all the green.
yeah.
But there's a lot of ways you could have done that. We just, you know, the intention for this house was to make it a casual, dressed down weekend feel. You've got natural wood flooring, you've got natural siding, you know, you've got the slate.
But all these materials were not low end.
No, they were not. They were carefully selected
Yeah, I
to
love
look
the
casual.
white oak floor because it's gorgeous.
And it's got a wire brush finish and a matte poly, so it almost doesn't look like it's got anything on it.
Right, I like the matte. I don't like that shiny.
Right. I mean, some houses that might look really nice, but the whole point of this was to make it feel casual and relaxed and
natural, like you're in the natural elements.
Exactly.
You're in
Those shelves, you know, those natural wood edges, they call it live edge. Those are oak. Basically, you have oak and pine in this house. That's all you have.
Yep.
And in the natural, you know, the wood.
And no toxins.
And no toxins. So so just talking about continuing on that vapor open. So on the inside, what we did was, instead of using drywall covered by a latex paint, latex allows some evaporation, but not quite at the level we want. Okay. So we They make certain paints that are, they call them mineralized. Rather than rubber, latex, plastic, it's a mineral. And it's in a suspension that dries totally non-toxic and allows that vapor permeability. It's also very durable. And you can kind of see it's got that slightly more matte look to it, Like,
is it more expensive, I'm assuming? It's not?
Or
people just don't know.
Yeah, it was hard to find. That's what I was telling my son about this.
It's hard to source more than anything.
It was hard to source. Same thing with the mineral wool. Like, they were on strike. I had to go to Canada. But if you put the numbers against the foam, it wasn't terribly more expensive. What's expensive in the mountains is just the fact that it's step by step by step by step, and it's going to rain between each step, and all the different subcontractors are struggling with all the same things we are. I'll tell you, I have been working with a young contractor. He builds homes down in Charlotte, spec homes. He builds them up here in the mountains. And he came up very skeptical that it was going to cost all that much. And I said, it's up to you, man. We'll do whatever you need us to do.
Yeah.
And when it was over,
Will he do it again?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he still does it because he loves building in the mountains, and he makes good money in the mountains. But he says, Sam, I can build 3 in the time it takes to build 1.
Right.
My profit margins are higher here and lower
that was
there.
My next question.
Yeah,
because I've never compared like the Charlotte new construction to our new construction.
It's much less expensive down there.
I know it's much less expensive.
The quality is not as good. The profit margins are less because anybody can build down in Charlotte. There's
probably more competition for the builders too.
Up here, it takes, you have to have a certain persistence.
Right.
Up here.
Well, I would think it would be difficult in Charlotte just to build like a one-off home when you're competing against these builders that have 500 site neighborhoods that are platted and they're able to order mass amounts of
every business plan is different, but I think he buys 2, 3, 4 lots at a time.
Okay.
And he, in a sense, he's not competing against tract builders because they are building,
just the
Walmart stuff.
Right.
He's building a little nicer home. He's a brilliant guy, and but it was interesting for him to watch him realize it's just more expensive in the mountains. It's harder to do. You're gonna have problems you don't expect.
Yeah.
Like his first foundation just caved in.
Right.
He calls us up. He said, "Guys, what are we gonna do?" I said, "We'll think of something."
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a nightmare.
It was another day at the office, actually. I'll tell you a little bit about what's, like you say, the things you can't see in this.
Yes.
So, for instance, and the overall idea is to create kind of a synergistic effect. So we wrap the house in that mineral wool insulation. That makes it performs like it in a different way than most people have ever experienced a house. Because that house wrap, it's airtight and it's just bone tight. And then you wrap it with that continuous layer of insulation. People don't realize when you put a bat of insulation between every stud, 15-20% of your house is just wood.
Right.
So it's like a lot of it doesn't have any insulation. But when you cover the whole house with that blanket of mineral wool, now it really behaves differently. Then we connect that, we install a very, very efficient heat pump. So there's different ways heat pumps work. Some of them are single speed, so they come on or off. So they have to use, they don't have any medium or low.
Okay.
Then there's 2 speeds. For this one, we chose even a better option. It's called variable speed.
Okay.
So it senses how much load it needs to
get the temperature where it needs to be.
Yes. And so it only comes on the amount that it needs, and then it goes right back down.
So that should help the unit
tremendously.
At least last quite a bit longer.
Yes, and it uses a lot less energy, and it's quieter. The air handling unit, same thing. It's variable speed based on how much air needs to move. So it's a smarter, much more efficient piece of equipment. It's 20 SEER and variable speed. That's sort of the gold standard of heat pumps. Okay. And because it's in a house that has that superior insulation, it doesn't run much. So far, the energy bills on this house have been $60 a month.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh, so I didn't tell you. We did get our energy certification. So the home energy rating system rates houses on a 100-point scale. 100 is a code-built home. They say the average American home would rate about 130. It's, it uses about 30% more energy than a code-built home. Okay. This house came in with a 59. Okay. So that means it's 40%. It's using 40% less than a code-built home. Almost 100. A lot less than an average home.
Than my house.
And truthfully, it's been third-party inspected several times along the way. Right. So they've inspected the HVAC installation, they've inspected the insulation inspection. So they come through to verify that it really does meet a higher standard of construction, even than a code-built home. And then the energy...
Yeah, it's separate from the planning department.
Totally separate. Yeah. It's an independent organization. It's actually related to the mortgage industry.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Because if you have a lower energy bill, you can afford more for your mortgage.
That makes sense.
So there's a specific mortgage you can get once you prove that you have a lower energy consumption
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, that's worth looking into. Most people don't bother with it because mortgages these days are pretty easy to get. But that was how it was developed. Okay. And they come in there, they set up equipment, and they test the air leakage. And this one had a very low air leakage. It's 2.2 air changes when it's a very technical thing, but very, very tight house. But we have this whole house ventilation system running 24/7, bringing in a measured amount of fresh air, exhausting the old. So it always has good fresh air in all the rooms. And it also has this little magic special ingredient where, because that vapor is not stopped anywhere through the walls, it just feels different. It just feels better.
Yeah, it does feel clean in here.
Yeah, it always feels good in here. You kind of want to sit around and stay, which that's an indefinable, intangible, but I'm sure eventually they're going to do studies on these homes. Building science has begun to talk, like there's a guy named Joe Sturback, probably the foremost building science authority in America. And he calls it a flow-through wall assembly, which is a really nice way to call it. He calls it a vapor throttle, where you're letting a limited amount of vapor pass through for a very specific purpose. And it feels different. It's a nicer home to live in. And that's really, and the fact that we could do it with off-the-shelf materials, my framer said, Sam, this is the best way we've ever built a house for you. This is the way we want to do them all from now. I know. I said, dude, you're talking my language.
It's just no one's educated.
Yeah. Right. It'll come. It'll come. If Joe Sturback's talking about it, and if a worn-out old builder in North Carolina already knows about it, it's going to come.
Well, and too, if it's not that much more expensive to do it that way,
it was
because
just
people, when they're building a home, they focus on what you're looking at, what you can feel and touch, and I'm going to put all my money on the countertops because I want to look at. They don't think about.
There's no doubt we spent extra money on
the other things,
Yeah, there's no doubt we spent extra money on this. To have a super efficient heat pump, to have a home wrapped in mineral wool, to have a rain screen assembly so that siding will last forever without maintenance. Those things definitely cost money. Yeah. But to do them with conventional materials would have cost about the same, but we wouldn't have had the vapor open wall assembly. So I'm not going to say this doesn't have premium HVAC equipment. It has a premium energy, thermal energy, thermal break. Like we have R38 spray foam in the ceiling. It's really on the roof deck. And the reason for that was so our ductwork would be inside the conditioned space, so that we don't lose the energy when that sun hits the roof. Your ductwork is inside that. And the floor is R42. We put an R38 bat, and then we put an inch of foam board and then taped it so the wind can't steal the heat out of that floor. Then we put plywood over it. So even though that floor is 10 feet in the air, it is toasty cozy.
Yeah.
You're not losing
it's very cool. Yeah. So kind of thought of the design of the Scandinavian-ish
That was
style?
my wife and I. You know,
I was pretty sure it was Joan, but I wanted to
yeah,
ask.
yeah. She and I took this as a mom and pop craft project, just a little bigger size.
Just a little project.
So yeah, we would page through, you know, online or wherever and find something that caught the look.
Yeah.
And yes, so that kitchen and this all clean scan design, yeah, that is really my wife. She, you know, she's an artist. And,
Yeah.
And a healer. And yeah, so yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah, Joan has good energy. Well, you both have good energy, and it comes through the house.
Yeah,
the challenge for me every time I get, you know, if I'm remodeling a bathroom or something, I look at so many different things that I love, and then I want to incorporate a little bit of everything, and then it's like that doesn't make any sense. It's hard to make a decision.
Yes.
So that it all flows seamlessly together.
Yes. It was a great approach to pick out pictures. Like we have a little file, and those pictures, like if you saw the file of that kitchen, you'd be, oh my God, you got it, you know?
Well, I love that you did the floating shelves instead of all upper cabinets like most people do. It makes it so much cleaner.
A little airy. And then, you know, we compensated with a big pantry over there. So you can store enough for all winter.
Right. Well, the pantry setup.
That pantry cabinet's great too.
Yeah, I love that.
That was a lucky break. Yeah, those cabinets are quarter-sawn solid oak doors.
Yeah.
And that's
heavy.
Yeah, you can feel it. It has a lot of closets. There's a coat closet. There's a linen closet.
Which is important.
There is a you know.
What is up with builders up here not putting closets in these second homes?
I don't get it. You know, like I feel like designers
it's getting
hand
better.
it to me. There's literally no closets. I'm like,
a designer, really? Like an architect?
Yes. And I'm like, where are we going to put the closets? And they look at me like, where do you put your brooms at your house? Well, I'm like, yes, we need a closet. Make a closet, dude.
It's crazy. People
it can't be that hard.
Crap laying around.
Yeah. So, you know, we did focus on generous closets and putting shelving and you know, flex space where it could be an office or a bedroom. And, you know, having a nice foyer that, and, you know, I mean, I won't even tell you what
a nice foyer, but a usable foyer.
Yeah,
like
not
my
huge.
foyer at home is just huge, and there's like this cased opening to the dining room, and then door to the basement, and then door to our bedroom, and you can't put anything in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's dumb.
We probably reworked this floor plan 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Showed it to people.
Well, and I love that's all one level.
Yeah.
And people love that about it.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest hang up for some just looking at it on the internet is the size. But once you get in here, it feels like a 2,500 square foot home. Yeah. It really does.
Yeah, the living space.
The living space is huge. The kitchen's huge. Dining room. I mean, and the bedrooms. All you're doing is sleeping in them. Yeah. And they have a king bed in it.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
One of the things that's happened is over the years, you know, I've just seen the patterns of what my clients want.
I think the big house thing is going down.
Yeah.
Who wants to clean all that and maintain it?
That's what I hear.
You know,
I mean, it wouldn't hurt the thing if this had a basement, except you'd really be spending money on this house. Yeah. But I think that the feel of being up in the air like that is kind of neat.
Yeah.
And with that view, you know, being part, like the master bedroom has that view, the living room has that view, the kitchen sink has that view. Right. Yeah, so that was one of the things we really focused on, just bringing that into the house, making it part of the house.
And it's so quiet in here.
That is so interesting, isn't it? That's that mineral wool. That mineral wool is a really good sound.
I mean, it's quiet outside too. There's not much traffic out there, but
it is. But that mineral wool is what we use to sound deaden between walls. It's even better than fiberglass. It makes a measurable difference. I'll tell you a little bit about the kitchen. You know, we went with a U-shaped design, and you know the basics are always the triangle from the fridge, sink, stove, and so you've got a very nice sequence here. The cabinets are, you know, full extension. They're quarter sawn oak fronts. The pantry, so this is sort of like the mini pantry, where, you know, you keep the stuff you're going to use today. And then there's the big pantry over there near the laundry room. One of the things we did here, islands often have an awkward, or a peninsula like this, have an awkward, where are you going to put your outlets? So we put a little extra space between these cabinets, and we had the electricians bring the power up through there. They don't interrupt when you're using these big drawers.
I mean, you could literally pop a small appliance out of
You could.
the
you
cabinet.
Could put your microwave in one of those cabinets.
Yes, we did talk about that.
Absolutely.
Right here.
We could easily make one of these a microwave
Drawer or something.
drawer. The power's back in there. That would be a great idea, actually. And they're selling those now, even top loaded. And of course, you've got your power and your backsplash. We put a pot filler in just because everybody wants one now.
And then they never use it.
One of the things that we always do in our homes is we make sure that the range hood exhausts to the outside.
Out.
Really
Isn't
important.
that a fascinating thing?
It's really important, and because this home is tight.
Yeah.
We often like to put the awning windows above the bed so that you can have good flow, good air all the time. And of course, this particular bedroom is set up with, you can walk right out. We've set the deck up for a hot tub. It's got an engineered extra support, and the power connection is right here. So whoever gets this the lucky person that gets this house can pick their hot tub and put it right here.
And it can be a big one.
That'll be a nice morning. Yeah.
Remind me how wide is this 12 foot?
10 or 12, I honestly can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Plenty
big.
Yep.
And then explain these up here.
Sure. So the two up top are the intake and the exhaust for your continuous whole house ventilation, the ERV. That is the termination for the gas.
The fireplace.
Yep. That's
Yep.
the. We went with just real simple sconces.
And this is that siding that you were talking about with that.
Yep. So that is white pine.
That oil.
Built up in Ashe County. And yeah, it's got Q-Tech wood oil. The preservative is called Eco Wood Treatment. The deck is also Q-Tech Extreme, which it just won't peel off. It soaks
I
into
love the
wood.
color. It's just such this rich tone to it.
By a company called Sierra Pacific. This is specifically the H3. That is a window that has a hidden vinyl skeleton. It's got a wood interior, and on this exterior, extruded aluminum with that particular color is called Eternity Bronze.
Ooh.
I like that dark bronze. It really goes well with the wood, and so we stuck with bronze for all.
I love that. Yeah, I love the sconces you guys picked out.
We've seen a lot of black these days, but I thought that dark bronze went better with the wood.
I agree.
And of course, you've got a covered section of the deck because half the time in Boone it's either too
It's
sunny or
raining.
One or the other.
Yeah. And then these outlets are great to add outdoor speakers or security
lights.
cameras or
A lot of our clients
whatever.
ask us, this is just something I've learned over time from custom clients. They all want an outlet up high so they can run those little
the string lights.
the string lights.
Yeah.
Or Christmas lights or whatever.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
smart.
Yep.
Very smart.
And these wires just disappear so they don't interrupt that view of the river.
Yeah, and I like that you did the bronze and not the stainless, the silver.
Yeah, it'll be a beautiful home for somebody.
The river's gorgeous today. Finally.
Yeah.
We've had all this rain.
Yeah.
Stunning.